Hi everyone, welcome to the Observatory here at Britain Marketing and Design Group. We're back. We
Woohoo.
do these content exploration sessions each month. We had some awesome technical difficulties leading up to this, so we're hoping that we're in the clear now. For those of you live streaming on YouTube, hi. Facebook Live, Periscope, hi everyone. My name is Nick. I'm a content strategist here. I'm your reluctant host. Sometimes I'm a pagan, half time I'm a Swede, but I'm a full-time UX advocate. So that's who I am. Britain Marketing and Design Group, we're a creative design agency. Brand-centered content creation, that's what we're all about here. Lifestyle marketing, color-trended, consumer goods, all that good stuff. And here, this is Meg.
Hello.
Meet Meg. I told you guys that I had friends. So this is Meg. She's the VP of Online Brand Buzz here at Britain. She's worn many hats, and her current role is steering our digital content creation and content marketing vision for the brand.
What up?
So welcome, and I'm happy to be here, not by myself this time. So. Again, we're in the observatory. Today we are going to talk about paid content or paid media. We like to refer to everything as paid content because that's kind of how we like to think of things. Everything is content to us. This is the sixth session, so we're almost halfway through. We hope that these sessions are informative, collaborative, and that they give you some tools and resources and tips and help and so forth. So. We are in the observatory here at Britain, which the observatory is our content creation studio. It's our real-time listening and monitoring hub, our creative collaborative space. It's our command center. We have the lab here, our content creation lab, and so forth. And we create a lot of good stuff, visual content, and more, and more.
That sounds so exciting.
It is very exciting. People say that I need to, be a little bit more passionate when I speak, so I'm going to try to be a little bit more passionate. But it's a Swede in me that doesn't allow for passion to come out. So anyway.
Not too passionate, because I'm sitting right next to you, and you might like smack me with your hand.
True. So
That'd be
make
bad.
sure that you're here to accentuate the passion and make that come out. So
That's a problem.
So, yes.
I don't think that sounded very good either.
See, that's English is my second language. So anyway, notes about notes. We love creating structured content here, things that can be easily repurposed. That's why we have the lab. That's why we're in the observatory. For those of you following online or so, we do have a sketchpad, which you can find at bmdg.us/sketch-pad6. If you want to download that, it's part of our online, our ongoing design features, which we publish and create desktop calendars for each month, and this month has some nice, cool, vintage French-looking calendars. So that's part of that sketchpad. For those of you here, sketch away, doodle away.
Don't throw them at us.
Don't throw them at us, not yet, at least. For those of you online live streaming this live, tag Great Britain or send us a message or comment on our Facebook live stream if you have questions, so forth. I think we might also be using Google Slides' new Q&A feature, but I'm not sure if we did. So, but anyway, if you have any questions or comments or anything, we'd love for you to chime in, and we'll try to answer them at the end of this show. So, all right. So, let's kind of set the table for this month's session. Paid content. This is kind of our first panel, so that's kind of exciting. It's a very small panel, so it's more of a Q&A here. We're going to try to give a little bit of a macro view of paid content and paid media and the tactics that exist today for marketers. It's going to be very short, brief, explanatory nuggets for each section that we're going to talk about. It is a very complex topic. We could probably spend months and weeks and eons just talking about paid media. So, but in regard to this quote here, half of my advertising dollars are wasted. The trouble is I don't know which half. We think it's a good starting point as it relates to digital marketing as a whole. ROI is quantifiable and measurable to the extent of better than it's ever been in the past. Yet so many brands and companies aren't necessarily adapting and measuring and changing and doing their due diligence. So digital marketing today is kind of what we like to say. Our motto is about test everything, fail fast, fail small, and learn even faster. So
We'd of course prefer not to fail, but if you're going to.
fail fast and fail
Quick.
small. Absolutely. Agreed. So what we're going to browse through today, we got 25 minutes here, so we know we can't go too in depth with certain things, but we're going to talk about paid media 101, a little bit of basics. Search engine optimization versus search engine marketing, social media advertising, digital display, all that other stuff that's around, and then maybe we'll do a brief mention of some tools that we use and so forth. So, quick plug. Content cartography is our content strategy approach that we have developed here at Britain. It's about optimizing and being efficient around content aggregation, editorial process, content creation, and content curation. It really lets us plan for and create engaging and purposeful content that is, channel agnostic, catering to native channel user experience while also being hyper searchable and targeting those search engines and algorithms and so forth. And here's the deal from our standpoint is that we absolutely believe that there's a science to content creation and content marketing. We believe that the function drives the people to the content and the form makes them come back. That's part of our philosophy as it relates to content marketing. They're both interrelated and must be kind of prioritized and be combined in order to maximize your reach for your brand or for your company. And that's kind of what content cartography is all about. It's about playing by the rules of the search engines and algorithms and so forth to determine that if your content will be able to see its full potential from a reach standpoint. All right, I think we're good to go. I think we're ready to jump into things. Again, paid media 101, super complex. We have a finite amount of time here. Our philosophy, just to get us kicked off, is we want to always create original organic content to increase and create authority while targeting those 5 major ranking factor categories out there. And then we want to make sure that we supercharge that organic content, organic original content, and we want to supercharge it with paid content, paid media, to maximize the dollars spent. Building that organic authority so your brand gets that reach that keeps on increasing and so builds that authority.
And that supercharging really could take place anywhere, right? Like digital display, social media, search.
Yes.
All that stuff we're going to talk about.
Yes,
Sweet.
absolutely. So let's start talking about search engine optimization versus search engine marketing. So 2 of our favorite abbreviations maybe, or not favorite, but SEO to us is really about structuring content so that it pleases both the engaged human, the fans, the users, the readers, and the search engine, the algorithm. It's merging that form and function, right? For us, we really work on creating structured and keyword-rich metadata that allows the search engines to serve up the right content to the right audience when they need that specific piece of content. And that engaging content that we create is what makes them come back again. It's that form versus function. Whereas then search engine marketing is how are you going to be strategic with keywords and harnessing those contextual experiences and search behaviors that people have, again, to kind of supercharge your search engine result page rankings and to drive traffic and so forth.
And a lot of people get confused with SEO and SEM. They kind of use the terms interchangeably, but that's not really appropriate. The SEO really is embedded in the best practices of building your website and the content on it, whereas the SEM is really putting the dollars behind it, right? So is that much more effective?
I think we always see them as a symbiotic,
Mhm.
correct? You know, you have to make sure that you abide by SEO best practices in order to grow that authority from an organic standpoint. And then again, you use SEM to target maybe some of the weaknesses that you have, or to really increase some of those keywords or areas where you want to be found more for.
Mhm.
So that's kind of our take on SEO versus SEM. Oh, this is exciting. Digital display.
I don't
Banner
even know
ads.
where to look
Y-
on this
Yeah,
slide.
we should probably have some kind of disclaimer on there because it's very neon and blinky and stuff. So
It is neon and blinky.
yes.
Mhm.
So when it comes to digital display, banner ads, pop-ups, modals, takeovers, welcome ads, retargeting. This is not necessarily my strong suit, but how does one really go about to make strategic and successful choices as it relates to digital display advertising? What seems to work and what seems to not work? What do you think?
Well, I think one of the things that is really important that we've found out is just in thinking about who you're targeting, but then also making sure your call to action is really, really strong. I mean, like these ads, you wouldn't necessarily, I don't think you would at least see any of these neon bits of awesomeness targeting someone looking for like a walker or something. On the other hand, the call to action is critical, and so those calls for learn more are really important. But what doesn't work, I think everyone is starting to see now very slowly, is that sell, sell, sell tactic that ad agencies are kind of known for. It's not working. And so the context and the audience and the visual keys are really important, but it's also a delicate balance of getting your message across, but not being intrusive either. One of the things that we've seen working really well is motion, whether it's a GIF, a video, a cinematograph, they're all showing really great click-through rates, but the more people start to use it, it'll be interesting to see if those are still working. It just, the game is always changing.
And that's the plight of the marketer, right? Because as soon as something works, everyone jumps on it.
Everyone
and then
jumps,
it
yep.
becomes really muddied, and people come up with the next tactic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very, very good, yes. All right, here's another, we're going to talk about social media ads. Cool. Paid
Can I
to
just
play.
tell you, I don't know
Yeah.
what that cat is doing. I'm really scared by that.
A little distracted by
that
the
cat.
cat. But
Yeah. I mean, are those the northern lights behind him?
I think that's some kind of black hole or
Oh.
nebula or something. I'm not an astrologist, so.
Okay.
Um,
Good to know.
Yes.
Sorry.
So when it comes, you're fine. So when it comes to social media advertising, we always try to think about how do you leverage apps and create engaging experiences to a certain user base using those swim lanes that specific app or channel has. How do you figure that out? Again, our philosophy is always about creating original content, sprinkle with paid content on top, optimizing the spend, making it go further because you're building up organic authority. But what are we kind of seeing in social media right now? I know that, you look at Facebook, for instance, it's people talk pay to play because of the limited organic reach that brands have right now. And that's certainly part of the strategy. You have to have a paid strategy on Facebook. But what else are we seeing out there?
Well, I think the important thing is to not forget the audience. Kind of like I said in the last point, no matter the channel, if it's sell, 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 people are disconnecting and disengaging, and they just want you to be authentic. They know that there's going to be a certain level of, hey, this is on sale, check it out. And they'll let some of that go, but that can't be your entire message, especially on social. We like to think about honoring the channel and the purpose it was created for. So Facebook was about connecting with friends. Instagram was about sharing this great stuff that you're seeing and creating. Brands really need to learn to embrace that authenticity and boost those things, and then it makes the better your content, the better engagement, and then the more you can get away with some of that, hey, this is on sale kind of message. There's got to be some kind of a mix. When it comes to actually knowing how much money to put behind the posts, though, that's a little different. Like we found that channels like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, they're a little more economical, but you don't get as great of engagement necessarily. Whereas like LinkedIn, we've had a lot of success with. It's far more expensive, but our engagement has really been the great trade-off there. So, you know, looking at the channels, your audience, who you are as a company, and what you're trying to do, and just doing a little testing. I think that's one of the things we do with all of the new advertising channels that we can use in terms of social, is testing it out to find the best mix. It's different for everyone.
Yeah, and we can't forget the whole thing about social media advertising, which again, social media has social in it for a reason. It's about building social communities. It's about you know, to me sometimes it seems like a lot of these social channels that start and whatnot, you know, they evolve, they get to a certain user base and whatnot, and then they try to figure out how to monetize the platform.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. That's fine. They, you know, they need to make money as well. But we as marketers should see how we can best create the best user experience and cultivate those communities. Because the better our content is tailored to those communities, obviously the better the engagement's going to be, right? So
yeah, and people resent when brands start to take over the channels, like when Instagram opened their advertising, and when Snapchat came around, and you know, companies like Taco Bell were creating content. People were like, oh great, here they come. It's all about understanding.
yeah, Insta spam.
Insta spam.
Yeah. So. All right, so what are some of the other stuff that's out there on the horizon? Virtual reality, augmented reality, not necessarily new concepts, but
What's the difference between virtual and augmented?
have you seen
Do
the
you know?
Lawnmower Man from the, no?
No.
Okay. Every reference I always give you, you have no,
No.
I don't know if
Well,
that's-
you're from Sweden.
That's true. Augmented reality is where you can use a interface to have something else pop up. So you can actually use your phone or whatever device it is, and point it at something, and something is augmented, so you
got it.
see it. Whereas virtual reality is this immersive.
Like the Google Cardboard is virtual reality because
Yeah.
you're immersed in it, but
Yeah.
gotcha.
So augmented reality is more like immersive experiences while you're doing.
I of course
things.
knew all of that. I was asking for the sake of all the
Sure.
others.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we have you know, native advertising, which is hot, you know, sponsored content, which I think it has so much merit to it. You just have to be conducive of your audience and make sure that you don't take advantage of them.
And if they don't know what native advertising is, we wrote a blog on it.
I'm sure we probably
We did. No,
so.
we actually did.
Okay. What else do you think of the future of advertising, digital advertising holds for us?
You know, I think it's going to be really interesting the next few months even to see how like YouTube and native and virtual reality and augmented reality kind of take off. It seems like 5-10 years ago, virtual reality was going to be a thing, and then it wasn't. So I think it's really going to be telling on if it's actually a thing now or if it's not yet and it comes back again. I think there's a place for it. I don't know if the world is ready for its power yet. I think YouTube is easier. I think, you know, it's the second search engine behind Google. We're using it for a number of our clients right now, and we're having pretty great results. I think that's just going to grow. And I think in terms of video, I think it'll be interesting to see how, you know, maybe Netflix integrates, if they decide to integrate advertising at some point. I don't think that's on the radar, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I think native advertising is definitely going to grow more and more. I mean, we see it on BuzzFeed now with their, I think I saw just a little while ago, you know, Miracle Grow had sponsored content. I think that's going to be more popular as brands try to jump on that content bandwagon.
Yeah, it's always fun to hypothesize about what the future holds.
Mhm.
The one thing with Oculus Rift and some of these virtual reality platforms that is now, finally coming to the mass consumer, I think that's might be the step of that platform actually being valid soon enough. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what it holds.
Is that Angela Lansbury in the middle? Like Mrs. Potts from Beauty and the Beast? Is that
I'm not sure if it's a
Murder She Wrote?
generic older lady or if it is
It
Angela
kind of
Lansbury.
does look like her.
You're correct.
Dennis is nodding his head yes, he believes it is.
Okay.
I'm going to trust him.
Okay.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Mrs. Potts. For
Mrs.
those
Potts.
millennials who don't know who Angela Lansbury is, or Murder She Wrote. Do you know about Murder She Wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I watched it growing up.
Really?
Lot of older shows, like shows that you probably wouldn't think that they were sweet, but they were.
Learn something every day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep dragging you off topic. That's why you brought
so
me here, right?
So let's get back on topic. Let's talk about tools, resources, and platforms. This is not, again, paid content, paid media. Of course, using the native channels and their ad system, we do that. Are there other platforms, or what do we have to think about from, if I want to really get into digital marketing and digital paid media, what should I be thinking about?
I think, one of the things that we've really weighed internally here is a lot of advertising agencies, not necessarily ad agency, but a lot of agencies like us might consider having a trading desk where they actually buy their own digital media. And to us, we have more buying power, and even large agencies in New York that we work with and have talked to, they don't have trading desks either. I think finding the right vendor is really important, and the right media partner. We have one trusted partner that we use constantly, but we're always looking for chances to optimize further, and there's always new technology coming out. And so I think just keeping an eye out and making sure that you have the right tools. If this mega tool shows up someday, we don't miss it.
Yeah. The mega tool is just a myth, so.
Oh, so we should stop looking for it?
Yep.
All right.
There's no mega tool. We've searched far and away, and we can't find it for anything. So
But what if it shows up someday? It just poof.
I think you have to build it.
Right.
So.
All right.
So we just have to task someone here at Britain to build it. Chris Hinkie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And Courtney is saying she's going to be a mega tool. I think that could go many different ways.
Ooh, burn. Big
She's
burn.
not a mega tool,
Yeah.
but she was pointing to herself.
Okay. Sure. All right, so let's recap. Okay, so we talked a little bit about paid media 101. And our I guess our conclusion there is that it's very complicated. SEO versus SEM. It's complicated, but we can make the case for SEO being the foundation of your house and SEM being the accessories, the furniture, etc., whatever it might be. Digital display ads, again, being conducive of the audience and making sure that your message or your visual messaging targets the appropriate audience is super important. Social media advertising, pay to play is part of it, but you can also, via your organic content, if you adhere to that channel swim lanes, you can increase your organic reach. And we've seen that time and time again, but paid social is where you supercharge it.
One thing I forgot to mention with paid social is you don't have to have a huge budget. I mean, some of our best campaigns haven't had huge budgets, so don't let paid and social scare you off. It's not that expensive.
And paid social is very customizable as well.
Yeah.
Whether you use a platform or if you use the native experience, they do have a lot of different targeting options that you can that will help you really target your audiences and different audiences that you might have. So
For sure.
and then we had the other stuff, virtual reality, the future, the stuff that we saw in The Matrix and Johnny Mnemonic and things
It was
like
an
that.
awful movie, by the way.
Which one, The Matrix? Or-
No, Johnny Mnemonic.
Okay.
I
alright,
got dragged
just
to it.
That
It was
was
awful.
my favorite movie of all time. So thank you.
It was not.
It was not, but it was good. It was all right. And tools, again, tools are only as good as the person implementing the tools. So again, we always say try out as many tools that you can, that you allow for, that your capacity allows for. There's no mega tool out there, so if you find the mega tool, let us know, and we'll probably try to jump on that as well. So what's next? The next content exploration session will be on July 27th. We always do this the last Wednesday each month. That topic will be content optimization, so we will be talking a lot about how you optimize your content for that specific channel to get that organic reach that you want. Even if it's limited, you want to make sure that you maximize it. So, and I'm hoping to have digital strategist and analyst Dave Good up here with me next month. So hopefully that's going to work out. He's cowering in the corner right now, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And we run through all of 2016 here, so we have about 5 more sessions. Content optimization is next. Very cool. Q&A. Are there any questions? Anything from Facebook Live, Twitter, Google, anything? We got some airmail here.
Airmail.
Thank you.
Awesome.
By a carrier pigeon from Courtney Wagner. Okay, so an actual question written on this plane, not pre-planned, totally organic. What is an appropriate way to measure ROI when it comes to paid digital media? Is it the same as traditional media?
Good question, carrier pigeon.
Yeah. That's a question that would probably need about 2 hours of an answer. They're not the same, obviously, traditional and digital, but measuring ROI is always going to have to be the number one component of why you're doing digital marketing or traditional marketing. You always have to make sure that you have the right KPIs, the key performance metrics that you can rely on. And if you're not hitting those KPIs, then you need to adapt and do something differently. So there's a lot of levels of appropriateness of doing this. We just have to figure out what the tactics and strategy and everything is. Thank you, carrier pigeon. Also, last thing here is that access this. We have a very long short URL, which is cool. But basically, go to our landing page. You can access the live stream again in a while after we edit out everything that I said, basically.
Or me.
Or
just
or
me.
you.
You're just gonna cut me out.
Yeah. So
That's how it's gonna be.
yeah. That's why we have a green screen behind us, so we could just take anyone out. So.
Great.
But on this landing page, you can download the sketchpad, the presentation deck, sign up for our newsletter, read some of our blogs, content marketing resources, and much, much more. So, having that said, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll see you here at the end of July.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you, Nick.
And thank you, everyone in the observatory.
Yep. Carrier pigeon. Thank you.
Bye.